Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rexy here. And today we're gonna be checking out a pretty unique hero design. We have Ainyl, or Ainyl, the hybrid combatant. It's a hero design that was created by McPlesk. I think that was his first hero design a long time ago, but he had to rework her quite a few times, so that's his final product, and we're gonna be checking it out. So she is a hero design for Kingdom Rush Origins, which is nice. I like Origins. This is by far my favorite Kingdom Rush game out of them all, so that's pretty cool. And then we have a quote here. The future is behind me. I would assume this is her selection quote. As you can see, she is I think she appears in the second endless level in Kingdom Rush Origins, so maybe that's her. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if her name was actually Ainyl, but I could be wrong. We'll see. So, melee and ranged. So she has multiple ways to attack, because, you know, in the title she is the hybrid combatant, so you would expect that she has multiple ways to attack. So she has melee attacks and ranged attacks. With her melee attacks are with a spear that attacks every 1 second, and her staff attacks are every 2 seconds in melee range. However, if she is shooting from afar, it's only 1.5 seconds, which is pretty nice. The range of the staff is 350, that's pretty solid amount of range, it's not bad at all. So, the attack animation for Spear is similar to how Gooing attacks with her weapons in Iron Marines. Pretty cool, alright, describing how the attacks are gonna look like. I haven't really played a lot of Gooing before, because, you know, she's not my favorite champion there, but I can kinda remember how she attacked, so that'll be nice. The attack for Staff is similar to how Badge Niman attacks with his weapon. Same goes for their projectiles. Alright, good. Her movement speed is slow at 1.8, yeah, that's actually quite slow. But she does have a teleport, similar to Twilight Harasser's Shadow Jump. So she can just dash backwards and boom, she's somewhere else on the map. Pretty cool. Respawn time 20 seconds, I would say that's about average, nothing too fancy. But here's something unique. She is immune to Twilight Avenger's Blasting Curse. Quite unique invulnerability. I've seen some heroes that have invulnerabilities, but this is quite unique one. So definitely a point for that there. And now here are her statistics from level 5 to level 10. We're gonna be looking at the level 10 statistics though. So 500 health and 55 health regeneration per second. That's quite good. She's gonna take less than 10 seconds to get from 0 to full health. So that's quite good. Her armor is only 35%, but still. That's about 760 efficient HP, somewhere around there. It's not bad, nothing too bad, it's, I would say, about average. Moving on to her attacks and how much damage they actually do. So, the spear. It deals between 25 to 40 physical damage every 1 second, or to put it simply, 32.5 damage per second, which is not bad, it's alright, pretty respectable. Her staff attacks at melee, they do magic damage, but she attacks every 2 seconds while with her staff, so yeah, the damage is actually quite underwhelming. Even though it says 25 to 50, the damage is only 18.7 per second that you're getting out of this, so if you have your staff, make sure that you're far away from enemies. You don't want to be super close, because the damage is very reduced. As far as her range damage goes, it's between 35 to 70, and the funny thing is that on average you're gonna do 35 damage. Which is quite interesting. I'm not sure if that was calculated to be that way, but just mentioning it. 35 damage per second, magic damage, that's alright. It's about the same as a level 2 mage tower, I think. Maybe a little bit more than that. I don't remember the exact statistics on every tower in the game, but it's somewhere around there. Not bad. So moving on to her abilities now. Starting off with her hero spell. Alright, so we're starting off with the ultimate instead of the other abilities. That's quite neat. Let's see. Swiss Staff, or Weapon Mastery on iOS. So it's even gonna have a different name on iOS. Alright, that's some in-depth hero design. I like it. The cooldown is 7, 5, 3, and then 1 second. Basically, no cooldown at all. Cost only 1 point for each upgrade. Mastery of combat and magic gained by decades of training allows Ainyl to engage in more than one fighting style. So I guess that's the description of the ability itself in the game. Alright, good. So here's what it actually does. Ainyl switches her staff to Naginata? I'm not sure how to pronounce this thing, but the spear basically. And vice versa. changing the way she attacks and the abilities she uses. Alright, so we have one of those type of heroes. Alright, so here's the Naginata, or the spear. Sorry if I'm butchering this name, I'm not an expert historian, I'm not sure how to pronounce this word. Ainyl has a visible aura that changes color depending on the weapon she's using, like Gross Bastion. Alright, that's good to have this indication. And note, Naginata will be referred to as a spear throughout this hero idea. Alright, thank you. You're gonna make my day a little bit better for that, because I'll probably butcher this name a lot. Thank you. So, here we have her innate ability, or the passive, Eldritch Might. Ainyl's Twilight origin allows her to absorb the strength and musical hearing of fallen enemies. Alright, that's an interesting description there. When an enemy dies next to Ainyl, she absorbs 30% of that enemy's attack for 10 seconds. Ooh, that's spicy actually. But we have also quite a few notes here, so let's read them. This effect can overlap multiple times. Already looking good. It buffs both her melee and ranged attacks. Abilities are unaffected. Okay, makes sense. The area is the same as Rexon's Eldritch Heal. It also looks similar, but the orbs are red. Good. So she has some pretty decent aura that can absorb enemies' souls or whatever. Ainyl has a circle around herself, like Vassal's second phase, to indicate when she is buffed by Eldritch Might. The aura is bigger and brighter the more stacks are active, and has the same color as her weapon. Okay. That's actually pretty solid. 30% of the enemy's attack damage for 10 seconds. It's like if you're using a lot of artillery, or you're about to use a lightning strike in a big group of enemies since she is there, I can imagine how much her damage can go up. Sure, so you may be thinking 10 seconds, but 10 seconds is actually quite a long time. I think this could be very OP if you use it under the right circumstances. Like, let's say for example, wave 14 on, what was this level called? Shrine of Eleni, where you have a lot of spiders and arachnomancers. Imagine lightning striking a gigantic horde of them, and while she's near. Imagine how much extra damage she's gonna get. That would be quite insane. I would love to see how much damage you can go up to with her, because this passive is quite unique. Is it very strong? Yes, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be exactly OP. Unless you use it in the right circumstances, it's definitely going to be. But for the most part, I would say it's pretty good. Okay, let's move on. Moving on to Twilight Spirit. That's a passive ability. Alright, I like it. It's gonna cost 3, 2, and then additional 2 hero points to upgrade. Study of her past servants allow Ainyl to transcend her death, turning her into a soul-like being made from pure Twilight energy. Alright, so it's a after death effect. Alright, haven't seen many heroes that have this after death effect. After that, Ainyl transforms into a Twilight Banshee. In this form, she cannot be targeted by enemies, nor can she block them. Similar to Dante's passive. Alright, cool. Now let's see what her ability can do based on her weapon, because that's her gimmick. Depending on which weapon you're using, you're gonna get a different ability. So if you're using the spear, you get the Twilight Vengeance. Anylyn will hover above an enemy, attacking him from above, dealing 6 to 12, 8 to 16, and then 12 to 20 true damage every 0.6 seconds. For 20 seconds, because that's how long she takes to, respawn. Wow, that's actually a lot of true damage. If I'm not sure if you can target which enemy you're gonna go for. I would assume that her AI is gonna target like the first enemy that's close to the exit, but imagine if you get this on the Twilight Golem. That would be actually a lot of damage to him. I would love to see how much it can do. Let's just say that it's a lot. Okay, now let's see. She can be moved to retarget to a different enemy. All right, never mind. So you can pick which enemy you're going for. If she respawns while attacking an enemy, she will resurrect in front of him and start blocking him. All right, I like that. Pretty good. Now let's see what the staff does. Twilight Infusion. Anylyn will hover above a single tower, improving its damage and attack speed by 10, 20, and then 30%. Cool. She can be moved to retarget to a different tower. Okay, so you can pick which tower you're gonna empower. The affected tower is immune to Scourger's Banshees. Ooh, I like that, I like that. Because Banshees are pretty annoying to deal with in Origins, so that could be nice. If you have, let's say, an Arcane Archer with maxed out burst arrows, and you have a bunch of Scourgers coming up, you're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to affect it if you have Anylyn over the tower, which is nice. Anylyn can't use any abilities while in spirit form, nor can she teleport. Her movement speed is increased to fast, or 4. 4 is actually pretty decent movement speed, alright. I guess this is a fair trade-off. You can teleport, but you get a significant increase in movement speed while she's into one of those forms. Okay. Damage from both parts of Twilight Spirit do count towards Crystal Charge, despite oh my god, despite Anylyn not attacking with her weapon, but the armor, the amount of damage gained is halved. Okay, I'm not sure why she would still have her passive like there. I mean, she doesn't really have the ability to target it, to block enemies, or you know. I guess it's gonna be really good if you're using the Banshee, this form, the Twilight Vengeance. But other than that, if you're using the Twilight Infusion, I don't see why you will be benefiting from the extra damage that you get. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this part, but I would accept it. Pretty good ability though, quite unique. Moving on to ability number 3 at this point. Yeah, it's the third ability. Dark Arts. Cooldown of 22 seconds. It's gonna cost 3, and then additional 3 hero points to upgrade, so it's an expensive one. It's probably gonna do something quite cool, so let's read. Training in the ways of magic has given Anylyn the abilities to protect her friends and get rid of those who annoy her. Okay. Let's see what the ability actually does. When she and at least 2 allied units in combat or an enemy is near her, she will enchant herself and up to 2, 3, and then 4 allies, or curse up to 3, 4, and then 5 enemies. Okay, so you can if an enemy is near her, she can curse a bunch of them, or if you have like 2 allies or more, you can enhance them. Now let's see what she does based on her weapon of choice. If you have the spear, you get the Transporto spell. Cursed enemies are teleported 20, 25, and then 30 nodes back, and dispelled for 10 seconds. I would assume this is silence, basically. So they're silenced for 10 seconds, and on top of that, you're teleporting them back. That's actually quite nice. It's kind of like, as far as the distance goes, it's pretty similar to the tier 2 or tier 3 of the Arcane Wizard's teleport. So it's a pretty decent teleport, and on top of that, you're silencing them. So if you're facing off something really annoying like an Org Magi, that's gonna be very nice. 10 seconds silence is actually quite a lot. That's about the same... Oh wait, never mind. That's actually the same duration as the Word of Disruption. So that's actually cool. I like that. Let's see. The less enemies is affected. I think it's the less enemies are affected, but okay. The further they are teleported, for 1 less enemy per 5 nodes. Okay, so if you teleport less enemies, you're gonna teleport them further. Alright. I would say that's a pretty interesting trade-off. Cool. The most threatening enemies are selected. The most threatening? Is it based around HP? Is it based around efficient HP? Is it based around damage or abilities? Not sure how this is gonna work, but we'll see. I don't know. I would assume that it works based on HP, just because I'm stupid. Anylyn won't use this ability on enemies which would have been teleported past the entrance of those currently under the effect of Reign of Darkness. Reign of Darkness? I'm not sure what Reign of Darkness does, though. Did we read Reign of Darkness before? No, we didn't. So what is Reign of Darkness? I guess we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. Okay. If targeting 2 or less enemies, this skill will have a 3-second delay to prevent Anylyn from teleporting a single weak enemy as soon as it enters her range. Okay, pretty cool idea. So I guess it makes the ability more efficient. If the enemy or enemies are in a critical position, a red exclamation mark is pointing to their location. the delay is ignored. Okay, so if they're like very close, or very close to the exit, I would assume, she's gonna teleport them immediately. Alright, pretty interesting skill. Has a lot of flexibility. You can use it in different ways. And it kind of changes based on the enemy's position and how many enemies are in range. I like that. Quite a neat skill. And now let's see what she does with her staff. Twilight Barrier. A shield with 360, 480, and 600 health is distributed to enchanted allies units for 10 seconds. Alright, that's cool. Let's see the notes. Overkill damage does not carry to normal health, nor does true damage pierce it. Ooh, I like that. That's gonna be pretty good though. 600 health is a lot. It's a lot of health. If for some reason there are 5 or more allied units receiving damage and Ainyl isn't, she will give up enchanting herself for the sake of one more ally. All right. So I guess that's nice. She's gonna get a little bit of extra durability. To activate this ability only on herself, she has to be under 50% health. Oh, all right. So now it makes sense. If you want to enchant your hero with this spell, your hero has to be below 50% health. All right, makes sense. Enchanted allies are immune to any status effects. Ooh, so does this make them immune to web spitters? If that's the case, I'm gonna fall in love with this ability. Because there's nothing more annoying than the web spitters just disabling like 5 units at once. That's just the most annoying thing that you can ever imagine. So if this works, I'm definitely in love with this ability. So let's see the last note. The shield's health does not decay. Instead, it disappears all at once after 10 seconds. Alright, so it's not like I'm trying to remember of the name of this. There was one hero, but I'm not sure if it was from Kingdom Rush or Iron Marines. But he gains the shield, and oh yeah, it was Azra from Kingdom Rush Vengeance. You remember her Shield of Shadows, where it has a lot of HP, but it decays very quickly. That was annoying. I mean, sure, it gives her a little bit of extra durability, but it decays so fast that you can't really use it effectively. While here, it stays for 10 seconds no matter what. Or, until the shield gets, taken down by enemies, which is pretty good. I would say this one is a little bit better than the teleport, though. I mean, the teleport could be nice if you're defending at the very back. If you're dealing with a map, let's say like Beheader's Seat, I would say the transportation spell is better. But in most cases, I would say Twilight Barrier will be the better option, at least in my eyes. Moving on to the next ability, which is the second to last one, Crystal Charge. It's a passive-ish. What do you mean by passive-ish? Is it a passive or is it not? Make up your mind, man. So, let's see, cost of 3, and an additional 3 hero points. Pretty expensive one again. Hopefully it does something good. Consuming the life force of her enemies charges a crystal within her weapon, allowing Anylyn to smite them with a devastating attack. After 4,000, 3,000, and then 2,000 damage dealt, the crystal will begin to glow, allowing Anylyn to perform one of these abilities. So it's like a channeling ability. After you do 2,000 damage, you can do one of these two. Alright, let's see what they do. Vaporize. Performs an insta-kill on an enemy she is in melee combat with. This takes 1.5 seconds to execute and can be interrupted. I would say that this is good. It could be good, I guess. Because let's say you're fighting someone who is very weak and you don't want to insta-kill him. You could just move her and then insta-kill another guy. I think at least that's how I see it. So let's see the second note. Deals 1500 true damage to uninsta-killable enemies and stuns them for 4 seconds. Bosses for 2 seconds. Oh, so you can use it even on bosses. 1500 true damage. That's it. That's more than some ultimates, man. Yay! And it stuns as well. Wow. All right. This ability is actually way better than I thought. And still, you can even use it on golems, because I think golems and shadow champions are the only other uninsta-killable targets. And 1500 true damage is quite a big chunk of their health. I like that. And on top of that, you get the stun. I mean, sure, you have to do 2000 damage, but still, for what you're getting out of this, that's I would say pretty balanced. Let's see. Anylyn won't use this skill on an enemy with less than 140 health outside of critical point positions. Sorry, I had a little bit of a cough there. So, alright, so you're not gonna be using it on an enemy that has below a certain amount of HP. Alright, good. I like that. Now let's see what happens if she uses her staff instead of her spear. Rain of Darkness. Anylyn takes her staff and slams it on the ground, summoning a rain of dark energy to an area of 250, which deals 360 true damage to enemies and heals allies for 120 health. Okay, that seems a little bit more balanced than this one, but we'll see. Maybe it's actually really good. Let's read. The enemies are also slowed by 30% for 3 seconds. Twilight enemies are slowed for twice as long. Ooh, I like that. Because, you know, it makes sense because she herself is one of the Twilights, so... lore connection, maybe? She can also heal herself. Okay, good. The rain doesn't hit and slow flying enemies. A little sad. The rain looks similar to Badge Nimon's rain attack. I'm not sure why he said attack twice there, but I guess maybe it was a typo. So basically Badge Nimon's rain of fire of purple balls, basically. That's how it's gonna look like. Alright, or at least it's gonna look close to it. At least 3 enemies have to be in range for her to activate this ability. Okay, yeah, makes sense. 3 enemies, it's gonna take a while, but on some levels it's pretty easy to get 3 enemies pretty close to your hero. Only 1 charge can be stored and it carries over death. Okay, so even if you're in your after death form, you still get you know, to stack up this ability if you do damage. If you're using the Banshee's form, I guess. Let's see. Damage from crystal charge does not charge the crystal charge. Okay, so whenever you use this ability, no matter how much damage you do, it doesn't get stored. Alright. Anylyn announces charge crystal by level up like animation and a line. Charged up. Alright, that's actually good. You have 2 indicators. You have the animation and a unique quote. So that way you don't just waste it. Because imagine wasting Vaporize on an enemy who has like 300 HP. That's not gonna be fun. And it's not gonna be fun. I would say Vaporize is definitely the better one though. Rain of Darkness is also cool. I would say it can be useful if you're dealing with a very big horde of enemies. It could be like a tiny rain of fire, but I don't know. 360 true damage is actually not that bad. That's enough to insta-kill Twilight Harassers, so I would say worth. I would say it could be worth it in most cases. Imagine this on Griffin Point. That could be actually really good because you have a solid choke point at the exit. Anyway, moving on to the last ability this time. Berserker Fury. It's gonna have a 15 seconds cooldown. It's gonna cost 3, 3, and an additional 2 hero points. Succumbing to her rage, Anylyn transforms into an invincible, monstrous being, fueled by Twilight energy. All of this for a little loss of sanity and a terrible tunnel vision. Ooh, I can imagine how she's gonna look like. Yeah, it's gonna be probably a terrifying sight to behold. When near enemies, Anylyn goes Berserker, transforming into a Twilight monster, becoming invulnerable for 3 seconds, and heals 20% of her maximum HP. Okay, so basically short invincibility and a nice heal. You know, 20% of your health, that's not bad. So let's see what her Berserker Fury can do based on her fighting style. If you're using the spear, you get the Furious Flurry. Anylyn executes a flurry of 9 attacks on an enemy. She's in melee combat with each dealing 30, 35, and then 40 true damage. That's good. That's pretty decent. That's 360 true damage right there. Not bad. If her initial enemy dies, the rest of the damage is wasted, and Anylyn the detransforms prematurely. Oh, okay. So you don't wanna overkill on this ability. Anylyn won't use this ability on enemies with less than 120 health. Alright, so at least you have some sort of a safety net, but still. If you overkill, you can't just reuse this ability again. You're just wasting it, so make sure to use it on someone who has at least 360 HP. Alright, Now moving on to the staff ability. Island Smash. Get it? Like Hulk Smash? Lol. Island smashes the ground with her fists, releasing a shockwave dealing 160 true damage and stuns affected enemies for 1.5 seconds. The area is the same as Release the Kraken, so it's a medium-ish sized AoE, alright. Damage from Berserker Fury counts towards Crystal Charge. She cannot be moved during this ability. Okay. Alright, that's quite unique. Very unique set of abilities. Now, before we end this off, we also have the hero lines. So let's see. I'm not gonna try to interpret any voices. I'm just gonna read it normally to not kill like the idea. You can imagine how she's gonna sound like. So let's see the lines. The future is behind me. The selection quote. I was right about that. An invasion? Heh. Never heard about it. I was here before. Suffer, former friends. I know your weak spot. When she uses when the Twilight Spirit is active. No. Her voice slowly transfers into a ghost-like one. Alright, cool. So, she also has quotes for her hero spell coming up right away, and no problem. Alright, then we also have to wrap it up, or, the end paragraph to this document. So, let's see, what does McPlesk has to say? It's probably an understatement to say that Anylyn has options. It's interesting how many abilities can a hero get when they're just double the normal amount. A hero having 7 abilities sounds broken, but when you realize that every time she uses an ability, she actually uses 2 and completely wastes one of them, she might even be lower tier. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that she can debuff enemies or buff allies, has a single target and group attack, and insta-kill, and a death ability. I don't know whenever Anylyn is... I don't know whether Anylyn is balanced, broken, or weak, but I know that if she would have been balanced by Ironhide, they would have made her good only at having lots of abilities. I made Anylyn because I considered her character design to be one of, if not the best in the series, and because I play Iron Marines where Switch heroes, except Sparrows, are really strong, and I felt like this Switch mechanic could be also utilized in Kingdom Rush games. McPlesk. Alright, I would say, man, she is somewhere in between being... I would say she is a strong hero. I don't think she is quite as OP as I thought, because as you point out, having so many abilities means that you're probably gonna waste 1 or 2 on accident, because you have to be paying attention to which ability is gonna go where. So yeah, I would say that she is a pretty good hero. I would give her a 9 out of 10. Pretty good hero. She's gonna take a lot of skill to use though, because you have to know a lot of her abilities and you have to memorize what ability does what, and you need to also use your crystal charge at the right time. So she's a complicated hero. Not as complicated as Durax, I think, but if you use her properly, I can see her being a very strong hero. Maybe she will be like somewhere around the high end of on the tier list if we're comparing her to other Kingdom Rush Origins heroes. Sure, she may not be as strong as like someone like Wilbur, but she's definitely gonna be high on the list in my eyes. To some of you, she may not be that good, but to me, she definitely is really good. Now, there's also a lot of other information, because you can see we're on page 11 out of 21, so there's still 10 additional pages. And basically, in these pages, he basically gives up the information of her previous abilities, how he thought of her. There's also some lore around the end, which is quite interesting. So if you want to, you can read them. I'm not gonna read it right now because the video is already getting kind of long and I don't want to make it like over an hour. I did read them though, and I would say it's definitely worth reading through this document. It is quite unique. It's cool to see what went through his mind and how he created this hero. It is very nice. McPlesk, I salute you for your job, man. You did a good job. I appreciate your effort. And guys, if you wanna check out the document by yourself and see the rest of it, I'll leave a link to it down into the description. So feel free to check it out whenever you have some free time. And yeah, well, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. and I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.